Flexibility is just as important as weight training itself. So here we go. Suck it in, up with your arms, and then bend slowly to the side. Very nice. And then the other side. Anyway, I feel very flexible today. I'm really proud of myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into the New Creation Capital Podcast, a place where we discuss what happens in the world today, where we talk about stories that focus on current events, the stock market, and digital assets. Where we go one, we go all. This is a new you, a new future, and a new creation, guys. Happy Friday. It is May 8th. You did it, guys. You made it to Friday, and not only did you make it to Friday, you made it to a $10,000 Bitcoin. Hey, congratulations, guys. All of you guys that got it. Right now, it is not at 10,000. It is currently at 98.68. And this is actually episode number 43. So thank you guys so much. We currently have now up to 46 subscribers. So thank you guys who have subscribed, who have tuned in, especially listening to yesterday's episode 42 that we Let's Talk Crypto and Financial Freedom with Kate Shugart of Sarson's Fund. She is the Director of National Accounts. Speaking of, I have a conference call in an hour, so I will try to get this done quickly because, not quickly, I can't get this episode done quickly because we are going to dive into stablecoins and why the banks are banning them on a whole, but really what's going on behind stablecoins, because I came across something yesterday and it was pretty big. And I actually was posting it on my Twitter yesterday. So you see, we're going to touch on SBI Group today. Let's see what else. We're going to touch on SBI Group. I'm going to open this up. That the fact that they're giving out XRP, wanting to hit derivatives. R3's connected. We've talked about, other channels have talked about this. So we're going to really touch on that today. And this was my meme yesterday. But he actually jumped. That was going on. He kept trying not to get there, so it dumped. So thank you guys who follow me on my Twitter at New Creation Cap. Of course, those guys who listen to me on Apple Podcast, let's see, Breaker, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course, the Anchor platform where you can partner with us or shoot me a message. Of course, we are also on YouTube, as I showed you guys. You guys know there are doing some shadow banning of any crypto Bitcoin-based YouTube channels right now. I don't know if I've been affected because I don't have a lot of views, guys. Those of you guys who do view right now, thank you so much. This is a new channel. Like I said, this is episode 43. So we are chugging along. I come to you Monday through Friday. Today is the end of the week. So thank you guys. When I get to 100 subscribers, I will give out a Nanner Ledger S to the people who leave comments below. So thank you guys to all of those who are leaving below. And yesterday we had some pretty cool comments. Talking with Crypto Hippo Trading yesterday about his Elliott Wave. He's good. John Geese, Lee, Chrome Crypto, and thank you to Billy Mark, who is the new subscriber, 46. Thank you very much, good sir. Of course, if you go to the Publish OX website, crypto blog-based website, you can find us there. All of our audio, as you can see, audio and video is right here on this site, and you can listen on your favorite platform, of course, or just YouTube it right here. And make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell up top. Okay, let's jump back into it. So again, I'm going to spend a couple minutes on what's going on in Bitcoin because the block where we're having is 3 days, 10 hours, 51 minutes, and 30 seconds away. I talk about every time the supply that is paid to mine a block is cut in half from 12.5 to 6.25. This is the third block halving. Every time we've had it, we've had a parabolic blow off within a year. I want to let you guys know this, by the way. in 3 days and 9 hours, we will be live streaming all the way through the halving and celebrate the halving. So right now it's at 26:41. I don't know what Universal Time Central. I got to figure out exactly what time that is from now. But we will be live streaming on this YouTube channel, so please follow along, follow Twitter. Oh yeah, speaking of Twitter, make sure you hit us up in the Telegram group. We're at 20 members, but we are sending signals here. You can actually see right here, exited short on that quick fall down to 98.50. You still in it, Krishna. So we're also sharing information. I also, let's see, we had a lot of information yesterday talking about poli-sci, some XRP stuff, but I also am posting charts. Let's see here. I know I just posted a chart recently. Yep. And we're going to go over that. Posting charts. This falling wedge kind of played out. Didn't break north, but laid me straight to my short-term sell target for a profit. It's not over yet. I will be diving into charts again after my meetings and podcast this morning. Talk with you soon. He says, did you close your short? I should have shorted again last night. Yeah, I went to bed and took profit at 98.45. It hit while I slept. And so you can see kind of our conversation here, even talking about unemployment today, lower than expected. And hey, happened for 3 straight job reports, unemployment numbers up equals stock market pop. So you guys can get in here, get in some information, check out some of my gifts because we love posting gifts on here. So block we're having 3 hours, 10 days, and the price right now is sitting at $9,885. ETH at 210.92, XRP up 0.21%. Well, just basically even sitting at 21.7. All you guys know, now is the time to be in Bitcoin. When this blows off top, then money moves into the alts. Dominance right now is at 98.36. Let's see here. Checking in the market this morning. Let's see. U.S. economy loses, the $12.5 million jobs. And the stock market, like we just said, is up 1%. The Dow is at 24,141. The S&P is at 2906, up a little under 1%. The Nasdaq's up 0.5%, sitting at 930. The global Dow's up 1.32%, sitting at 2623. Gold is down 0.57% at $1,716. Oil up 3.44%, sitting at 2436. So, about 30 more seconds here before we jump into the story. I just want to show you some of the charts. This is one of the charts I posted yesterday. Showed a falling wedge, but I put my target right here at the VPVR to try to take it just below the wick, and I think I fell asleep right here. Took profit. It dropped a little bit more, bounced up, and look, now we're sitting right around that VPVR line. And this is some major resistance here. And this is another set of resistance. So this is going to be a point, but you guys see, yay, we broke 10K and came right back down below it. Don't panic, guys. We are building support right here on this area at 98.35, which is pretty awesome. Another chart that I do post here showing we're in a parabolic trend. We are in for a correction, guys. So this is the TD sequential. When we get to 9.9 and then the color begins to change, it says, give me a correction. We are above on the Stochi. The MACD is not turning red yet. We are still looking good there, but this is the overall. Let me show this. This is the RSI Taurus, so basically showing the close, the top off, and we are turning down on the daily RSI, okay? So this is just a little bit, guys, to show you what goes on in the Telegram group. Again, it is New Creation Cronies. There is a link in the description right here. You can link it there, okay? So with that said, guys, now let's jump into the video. Boom. Okay, guys, so let's talk stablecoins. And before we talk stablecoins, I want to show you this is the U.S. debt clock, okay? This is live, real time, and this is so important to see. Here's why. Because we have the total U.S. debt sitting at $77 trillion, $243,285 million, and counting, okay? So this is pretty interesting. Savings per family, that's pretty nice. $15,000 is average. This is good. You can go and see the U.S. total debt includes household, business, state, local governments, financial institutions, and federal government. We see here the U.S. national debt. Public debt outstanding represents the face amount of principal, marketable and non-marketable securities and outstanding. Okay, so that's interesting. We see that. If we click here, we're going to go to the world debt clock. Okay, so we can see the national debt is $25 trillion, but we're actually making $21 trillion. So GDP to external debt. So we have 70% is our national debt, but we're actually only, wow, so that's pretty bad. If this number is higher, it's 100% over the debt we have. So we're sitting 30% above right now. China's doing good. They're actually not in debt as a country. And I think that's important because if you look at a lot of the other debts, we're kind of going there, right? So someone's honking outside. Don't you love it, guy? By the way, I just chill in my room. I don't do this in the office, probably because we're all on lockdown. But I wanted to show you this national debt clock, and then I want to show you something more important here, okay? Right here, U.S. total national assets, 144 trillion, 160 billion, 105, and falling, okay? This is what's important. And now, that's how much we're worth. This is how much debt we're accumulated, okay? 147 trillion, 423 billion, 266,000, and rising. Trillion, billion, million, 268 million, and rising. So our debt is rising at a high capacity, guys. And I think that's important because that's what led me to saying, well, what are the banks going to do, right? Is there a stable coin coming out? Because we're hearing a lot about CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies. And that's kind of what I'm presenting on today in my call. So that's what got me digging more into this. So I thought I'd make a complete podcast out of it. So when I started digging, the first thing I came across was this here. FinTech Futures article that was coming out February 5th, 2019. Regulators officially launched Global Financial Innovation Network. Now, this is over a year ago. This is before COVID-19, okay? Now, I've said before, the digital dollar was planned. I've been talking about that since day one of this episode, I think, show. Episode 1 or 2, 3, and 4, and 5. The digital dollar, was the digital dollar planned? I think that's what made me jump into a podcast and just fire away at it. Now, what's important is that the Global Financial Innovation Network has been launched with basically group financial regulators. So they're trying to create all the big banks to regulate finance through fintech, which is bank technology to move money, okay? Now, this is expanded to 29 organizations, and it says supporting financial innovation in the interest of its consumers. So here's what I wanted to show you. So here's the members: Australian Security, Hong Kong, Singapore, the U.S., Bank of Lithuania, South African Reserve Bank, Abu Dhabi, International, and then here, this is the big one here, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank Group. So these are what actually kicks it off. Right here are those guys, and those basically every major continent is involved. So that led me to look to say, well, if those guys are involved, why did we get to central banks recommends ban of stable coins? Okay, this is a year later. And I said, that this sounds interesting. They're wanting to ban stable coins, but they're also trying to create fintech, and fintech is about creating stable coins. And so it says the Financial Stability Board outlined 10 recommendations to central banks for regulating stable coins, including outright prohibition. The Financial Stable Board is an international entity that provides suggestions on global financial system. Okay, it comprises central banks and finance ministries of the major G20 economies. The recommendations are present before the audience. Reference measures including USDT, USDC, TUSD, PAX, and DAI. Given the market-heavy reliance on stablecoin, a ban can mean disaster for Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrencies. So I said, all right, what's this mean? So I dig a little bit more, and I come to this embargo, and it's not to be released before Tuesday, April 14th. Okay, so they're talking about banning it after financial, and this is about addressing and regulatory oversight challenges by global stablecoin. And so what I want to go is all the way down here, because this is a long report, and we go down here to here. So basically, potential elements that could be used to determine whether a stable coin qualifies as a global stable currency. Okay, a stable global systematic importance could be measured in terms of the impact that a stable coin's arrangement failure can have on the global financial system and a wider economy. Given that a stable coin may be used a means of payment or store of value and could be used in multiple jurisdictions, the criteria to be considered in determining a global stable coin would need to take into account the potential uses in multiple jurisdictions. Taking reference from existing approaches such as the criteria that are often considered in determining the need for or degree of regulation, supervision, or oversight of FMIs, financial, monetary, intersystem or something like that, interoperability, and global systematic banks, okay? Potential elements that could be used to determine whether a stablecoin qualifies as a global stablecoin could include these factors: number and type of stablecoin users, number and value of transaction, size of reserve assets, value of stablecoins in circulation, potential for stablecoins cross-border use in payments and remittance, number of jurisdictions with stablecoin users, market share in each jurisdiction, redemption linked to foreign currency or multiple currencies, interconnectedness with financial institutions, available alternatives to use global stablecoins as a mean of payment at short notice, business structural and operational complexity. Okay, I think that's important here because they were talking about banning stablecoins, but using a qualified stablecoin through banks, and this is exactly why. So again, this is going to be long, so I'm not going to dive just into that. I just want to take you from one step to one step to one step. So we saw that in this particular meeting, the International Monetary Fund and World Bank were involved, and then we saw here that the FSB wanted to outline, they did some research to conclude this. So I started looking to going, all right, well, let's talk specifically about the International Monetary Fund and what is the role of special drawing rights, because this is important right now. So let me tell you about SDRs. The special drawing right is an international reserve asset created by the IMF in 1969 to supplement its member countries as official reserves. So far, the SDR 204.2 billion, equivalent to about 281 billion USD, have been allocated to members. Okay, that means it's been pushed out and already in there, including 182.6 billion SDR allocated in 2009 in wake of the last global financial crisis. Okay, the value of the SDR is based on the basket of 5 currencies: the US dollar, the euro, the Chinese renminbi, the Japanese yuan, and the British pound. Why do I point those out? Because those are 5 major central banks all around. Okay, so I just want to show you what that is, and we're not going to go into, right now the SDR values in terms of the US dollar based on the spot exchange rates. Okay, so the SDR right now is based on that. And then again, here's the five major ones: the US dollar, euro, Chinese yuan, Japanese yen, and pound sterling. Okay, so just pay attention to that. All right, so next we have an article here talking about Libra Stable Project has a new face in HSBC executive Stuart Levy. So I look into this, and this is May 7th, by the way. I look into this because I'm saying, all right, so who's been mentioned with stablecoins recently? And it says Facebook stunned the world last summer when the social media giant unveiled plans for the Libra Stable Global Project, a new global payment system. Now, the firebrand effort has a new lead. The executive comes courtesy of one of the world's most high-profile banks. Okay, the high is HSBC is talking about trying to use Libra, and it says here, technology provides us with the opportunity to make it easier for individuals and businesses to send and receive money to empower more than 1 billion who have been left on the sidelines for financial systems. Again, their excuse for banking the unbanked. All with the robust controls to detect and deter illicit financial activity. I look forward to working closely with the governments, regulators, and all of our stakeholders to realize this vision. Now I'm going to point out, my view on banks and how they're built on debt. In fact, all you got to do is watch the video at the end of this, that little short 4-minute clip. Watch it and see how banks are built in the Federal Reserve, and you'll just know. It'll just wake you up, right? So they have to move to stablecoin and use these SDR drawing rights, because so far we're going to see basically the debt. It's going to implode, and I will get in on that, okay? I will show you this. So let's see here. I think that's the gist of it. So that, of course, the Libra stablecoin was originally unveiled as a basket coin, a cryptocurrency that could be underpinned by a variety of fiat currencies, then pegged as a single currency. It says now, however, in recent months, analysts and beyond have posited that Libra Associated could reconfigure the Libra stablecoin design to a more conservative product, so creating another stablecoin. And it says here, under this change, Libra will simply be a digital composite of some of the single currency stablecoins available on Libra network. It will be defined in terms of fixed nominal weights, such as a SDR maintained by the monetary fund. So there's your connection. Libra wants to work directly with the SDR and the International Monetary Fund. Okay, so I think that's important. So now that got me going. Okay, well, let's see what's next. Stablecoins and SBDC. This is a PowerPoint presentation by the Chinese. Again, I point that out because we see here we have the Chinese, the Japanese, the English, the Euro central banks, and the US dollar. Okay, so here are the stablecoins, CBDCs, substitution, competition, or cooperation. And what this does, they actually go through each littering thing. It says the 3 proposals in the first meeting of the FGDFC. Multilateral system, IMF leading. There's the IMF again. Regional cooperation, countries leading, and coexisting patterns. So how can all these guys work? Here we go. The IMF leading with the SDRs right in the middle. You see USD, Euro, the British pound, the Chinese, the Australian, CCC, I don't really know what that is. And the other ones, the Russian ruble, the Indian ruble, the Chinese yuan. Okay, special drawing rights, again, is important for instrumental global financial governance. All right, now, regional cooperation. So you got country D and country Y. Here's what I'm going to go on. This is going to be America. This is going to be China. Just going to put it out there to create competition. And who are we in competition with? Now, we also put it to this country, which could be Russia and Euro, and we go to these certain countries. Those are American allies. Then we go just to the Chinese allies. All right? Boom, boom, boom. And then we also cross border. So I think we cross border with 3 major countries. So it could be Europe, somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Asia, and Russia. Okay, so we're working with those 2. So that's the competition. Then a coexisting pattern. The IMF again is in the middle, which puts to country D, country F, and then look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries here. So which country, by the way, was not mentioned in the special drawing rights? You are missing Russia. Okay, so Russia is going to have to be in part of this. So that is, see how that's the triangle here, then 1 extra. IMF goes directly to country X, which is Russia. And if I go here and look, there's not a country X on here. Just going to point that out. So obviously one of those is not Russia. So challenges faced by the CBDC: architectural design, regulatory requirements, monetary policy, privacy, and security. Stablecoins and substitution in the short term. The emergence and fast growth of stablecoins with fintech startups, okay? Fintech startups. We're going to go into that. The fast growth of stablecoins. Key features of stablecoins, fully backed by fiat currencies. So stablecoins are, banks and countries are going to have their own stablecoin backed by their own fiat currency, with everything being backed by the IMF, which is going to use some type of currency to back it. Okay, I won't say gold standard right now, but that's exactly what it will be. The IMF will be backed by gold standard within a global reserve currency, which I already told you was XRP, but we won't go into that. Okay, 1-to-1 guaranteed by fiat currency. This puts everybody on a level playing field and can be converted to cash, bank deposits granted by law at par. Issued by private commercial banks, fintech enterprise, but regulated by the central bank. So the privacy sector's in there, the government's in there, and the tech industry's in there, regulated by the central bank. So the central bank does not go away. They just regulate everything. And it can be similar to interest rates in current deposits in commercial banks. So they still got to make their money. So people will still want loans, but therefore this will keep inflation down. Central banks as lender of last resort. Okay, stable coins as a DFC. Global influences. Stable coins will be more competitive in global financial market. Hence, the central bank issued currencies behind stable coins will be more recognized globally. What's behind the central bank issued currencies? They are stocking up on gold. These countries are stocking up on gold, so their central banks are backed by gold. The financial power of the countries will be widely used stable coins and will be further enhanced with their CBDC when their CBDCs are produced, not if, when their central bank digital currencies are produced. Long term, controlling currency issues and circulation more directly, implementing monetary policies more effectively, having advantages on the macro-prudential supervision, prompting technology innovation by competing and cooperating between CBDC and the stablecoin. Okay, so that's important there. Now this got me looking. So we just talked about the Chinese yuan, right? So now let's go see what's going on in Japan. And Japan's biggest holders are the SBI holders, okay? These guys are pretty big. They love their Japanese love their technology, specifically cryptocurrency. And this is their quarter one fiscal year ended March 31st. So this is their report here. And what I want to show you, okay, are a few things. And we're going to jump to page 9 real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just to speed this up. So this is something that stuck out to me. Crypto asset XRP was added as a new shareholder benefit option. Okay, so we see here, if you're a shareholder here and you hold 100 shares, 1 unit or more, which is 100 shares as of March 31st, you have the ability to deposit XRP, okay, into gold capsules, okay, Hedera active capsules, Hatashi Shumagami knows, I don't know what no Sokokari just crushed it. Okay, you can put it here or you can go here, but the point is they're giving their shareholders XRP. Okay, that's pretty big. Now, why is that important? Why would a shareholder even want XRP? Are they going to make any money off of XRP? It's 21 cents right now. It's worth nothing. So I just kind of dig. So we're going to go first to page 107. Okay, we're first page to 107, and it says here, SBI group to give XRP as shareholder benefit, which leads to expansion of SBI venture capitalist trade accounts. Morningstar, Japan, XRP holders benefit. Also SBI Holdings. Let's see here. Moving forward, the SBI Group listed companies. So any company listed with SBI Group's companies are planning to add XRP, which has practical and asset properties, to the shareholder benefit. And that's important because SBI sees XRP has been practical and asset properties. Now, if they're giving it to the shareholders, that means they expect the price to increase a lot. Okay, there's another page we're going to look at. We're going to look at 119 here. And this puts us here. The SBI Group cooperates closely with the U.S. R3 and the U.S. Ripple companies, right? So R3 is a U.S. company, and U.S. Ripple company, which could become the de facto standard for the next generation through establishment of the JV. Developing projects are not limited to the financial industry by using smart contract-based technology. So R3 here is put together with cross-border interaction, which we talked about, right? Syndicated loans, derivatives, trade finance, global cash management, international transfer, specialized in international ripment. Ripple, by the way, uses XRP as their movement. So you have the real estate, healthcare, point property. So am I saying stablecoin here? Not yet. I'm just saying about moving the money. Okay. So let's go to page 22. Okay. Now I'm just starting to dive into this. So page 22 here. Accelerating efforts to create a swap market to expand actual demand for crypto assets. The point of this is here. You saw the JV establishments. Look, SBI Group goes here. They also invest in FX Coin, right? That's their exchange. And it goes down here. And their goal is to use liquidity improvement of crypto assets and crypto asset derivatives. So financial institutions, using the XRP R3 Ripple ledger, they're planning on moving that through the financial institutions. So there you go. There's how stablecoin with R3, with whatever Japan's overall stablecoin uses, they're going to use it to move the derivatives market. Okay. Now, I got through all that. So let me show you this. That got me questioning. So we're going to go to page 85 here. Okay. On page 85, it says this. SBI's group's basic approach to investments and the fourth mega bank concept. And I was like, what the heck is the fourth mega bank concept? And that's what it got me. It says here, regardless of an investment from the SBI group, participation in the fourth mega bank concept will be welcomed. So I was like, what's the mega bank concept? So I decided to Google. And it says here, This is written on September 4, 2019 from TWJ News, tronweekly.com. It says, Ripple partner SBI Holdings encourages fourth mega bank concept with fintechs in Japan. Again, fintechs, there's that word fintech that we talked about before, but mega bank. Yoshitaka Kyoto, president of SBI, wants to execute fourth mega bank concept by utilizing fintech with regional financial institutions. Yesterday, SBI Holdings president, who recently joined Ripple as one of its board of directors, spoke about its plan to create fourth mega concept. It says here, in a 3-day fintech, where is it at? The following concept is, okay, SBI intends to support local banks with various facilities such as infrastructure, asset management products, services along human resource development. The member of Ripple Board of Directors further assets that SBI is seeking investment in significant banks, venture capital leading regional banks, adding that SBI will own the majority of the holding company. The holding company provides the system to regional financial institutions in low cost. The system cost can be changed from a fixed cost to a variable cost, and high cost structure can be solved. As a holding company, SBI Group will enhance the operation of regional financial institutions. Moreover, it will also introduce fintech as a joint platform that will undertake various measures to eliminate money laundering and improve work efficiency. That's where Ripple blockchain fits in. So they're going to put the Ripple blockchain, the DLT, distributed ledger technology, and the XRP inside of all the Japanese-based banks, because they are the major holder. They run they are basically Japan's central bank. So that got me saying, okay, so that's that. What's R3 about? Well, they just came out with the document here, Central Bank Digital Currency and Innovation in Payments by R3, again, April 2020. So I'm not going to go through this big white paper here, but I just want you to show that R3 is also writing about wholesale CBDCs, finding complete wholesale CBDCs product. There's your Bank of Canada that we talked about. There's the Bank of Thailand that they're going to work with. Talking about the retail sector, hybrid CBDCs, indirect CBDCs. I think this mentions here, Tether says the USD stablecoin may not be backed by fiat alone. All right, so that's where's this one at? Let me see here. So there's an article right here that just talks about the US dollar not backed by fiat alone. So that has to be backed by something else. I just want to show you that, okay? Because there's a lot in here. So this is the R3 report about central bank digital currencies. And let me see. Is there anybody else here? So basically, here's how it works. The central bank two-tier token system. Issued, remittance, deposit, withdraw. Institutions can issue, redeem, or transfer tokens, and most models that will represent central banks, privileged institutions that can interact with tier holding, transfer tokens themselves, and most implementations that will represent wholesale financial institutions. Tier 2, institutions that can interact with Tier 1 and hold and transfer tokens between themselves and most implementation retail users, such as fintechs, corporate individuals, or wholesale members in the currency zone. You see the same thing here playing out. Redeemable, it just basically plays out the money. The retail CBDC, wholesale, cross-border settlement, liquidity line swaps, hybrid. Okay, so you see here, this all playing out in the R3 platform. And as I just showed you, here it is, the case for CBDC on Corda. So we heard R3, Corda, and here's how it's going to work with XRP and all those things, right? Corda, you know, Ripple is in mix with all of this. So they just make I'll let that sit there so you can kind of look at that for a second. If you're interested in this, I'm not going to put all these links below this time. I think that's just too many links ahead. So let's see here. Blockchain ensures global integrity of the system in which CBDC exists. So trust where we're not having to risk. Okay. Of course, they talk about the drawbacks, but how Quarter can overcome them. So they even talk about data privacy, identity, settlement finality. And there's the Bank of Canada and the Jasper phase. Okay, so I'm not going to go into this whole article. I just wanted to show you here that they're talking about that and directly with Canada, which is another one of those countries they talked about. So I decided to keep going, and here we go. Ripple partner SBI Holdings begins using R3 blockchain. You said, how are they connected? Ripple partner SBI R3 blockchain connected. This is on April 16, 2020, so that plan is now in place. So using the remittance market, Coin1 Transfer will partner with Ripple and SBI Holdings Asia to joint venture SBI Ripple Asia for the first time blockchain-based money transfer system. R3 distributed ledger technology-based Corda will initially be used by both SBI Securities and SBI Liquidity Market, with the expansion of the companies outside the SBI group are also considering. Ripple's rumored partnership with the Bank of America was confirmed by one of the bank's executives last week, who went on to hail the project to be innovative. So there's our Ripple company to the Bank of America, which is a big bank in the States. So let's move on. What other banks are here? So I come here and check. Design choices of central bank currencies will transform digital payments in global. This article was written Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Some more articles in the 2020. So let's see here. Determining whether CBDC is possible. Let's see. Comprehensive digital infrastructure, a well-functioning central bank, effective governance. So we've checked all of those off here. Financial technology knowledge by the central bank. We've seen them digging into that. So they have been searching. Let's see here. What is this? The Japanese, the Chinese, what is this? Japanese, Chinese, American, and the Euro. There's 4 dominant institutions. We've heard all of those guys talk about it. It's interesting. All that's on the right hand, by the way. Looks like they're trying to do some kind of mark of the beast. That's interesting. The U.S. dollar is king. We talked about that. That's what the IMF is back. And here is a breakdown. Here's Canada mentioned again. The French payment system going through Canada, being able to connect and move. Okay, there's a clearinghouse, but this is SWIFT. SWIFT is over with, and I'll go into another time. China and the creation of the alternative. China's primary desire for CBDC in response of Bitcoin and Libra. Okay, so we see there that they are implementing it, and we'll talk about that soon. Western Europe, an effort to determine implications of CBDCs. We see that they have been digging into it, which we've already talked about. Okay, now here's the horse race. The BIS, Bank of International Settlements, has surveyed 63 central banks that found 70% are engaged in CBDC work. So 70 central banks right now are already trying to move forward to that. So again, the financial ecosystem, technical support, and circumventing sanctions. So that's seeing how to work it. And I'm not going to go. I think that's the last one in this section here. Conclusion. Let's see here. Yep. Okay, that's the end of that one. All right, so I'm not going to dive into it. I just wanted to show you the gist of that, and that's also in April. So let's check out some of the banks that are moving and shaking. Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, which we just talked about here. This is the World Bank. Why does that matter? Because we go all the way back here. We've talked about the IMF fund, and now we're talking about the World Bank. Okay, so Bank of International Settlements. Didn't we just mention the BIS, Bank of International Settlements and World Bank Group, and what they are focusing on here, guys? And I won't go too deep into this, but I just want to go to, let's see here. Here, financial inclusion starts with payments, period. Technology innovation has made inroads for financial services, especially payments. Fintech presents both the opportunities and challenges in the safe transactions accounts, okay? Fintech can be leveraged to improve the design of transactions, payments, products, make them more ubiquitously accessible, enhance user experience and awareness, achieve efficient gains and lower market barriers. At the same time, these benefits come with certain risk and opportunity resilience. So we talk about that. Accordingly, a financial institution strategy seek to harness benefits of fintech and equally important to address its risks. So they're obviously here doing research. In conclusion, fintech can support and improve access to safe haven accounts and encourage their frequent use. Okay. Let's see. To realize fintech's potential improvement of financial inclusions initiatives need to appropriately embed in wider country level reforms and global efforts to seek into practice. Okay. So basically they're going to go in here and break down how all of this works and what needs to be going. So transition, is it ready? Is it aware? Is there a leverage opportunity? So can people make money off of it? Financials and cross-border infrastructures, I forget. And then legal and framework, right? Regulation, public and private sector. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at here. So if I continue moving, what countries? Let's look at some other countries. Here we have, guys, the financial inclusion and technology-led globalization plays, cross-border retail payments for the Arab region. So here, guys, the Arab region is working on inclusion of technology-led globalization age from cross-border payment, retail payments, and standpoint prospects for them. Again, look at this. The Arab Monetary Fund, April 2020. Everybody is doing this at the same time. April 2020. And I'm not going to go into this because you probably know what this is about now. Okay? Let's see here. I think, yeah, you already know what this is about. I don't need to go into it. I'm just making a point here that, boom, the Arab, was it Arab Arab Monetary Fund. Yep, they're going into it. So there's your Middle East people. All right, who's next? Look at this. This is a bill from the House in the U.S., the House of Representatives. Okay, this is a bill here that deals with, it says it's with our COVID-19, right? But it's called the ABC Act, the Automatic Boosted Communities Act, okay? And this, I want to show you here, that's important. They talk about a boost card here. They talk about a payment program. Let's see here. Look at this. The term digital dollars means dollar balances here. Digital dollar account wallets. Digital cash wallets. Excuse me. Excuse me. The United States Treasury as legal tender. At-risk populations, that means banking the unbanked. Again, we see all of that. And this is a bill that was introduced last month in the Congress. Again, April. So here's America doing it. Who's next? Eastern Caribbean central banks to issue world first blockchain-based digital currency. There we go. Now we got Eastern Caribbean using their ECCB. All right. And this was a year ago they started this. So these were one of the test fronts, right? These guys were being tested before all the majors. You had to go trickle, 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 boom. So these guys were some of the first to pilot the digital version of the Eastern Caribbean dollar. So we wanted to see if it works. This is not an academic exercise. Not only is the digital EC dollar the world's first digital legal tender currency to be issued by the central bank on blockchain, but this pilot is also live for central bank digital currency employment with a view to eventually phase public rollout. The pilot is started the ECCB strategic plan by 2017 to 2021, which aims to help reduce cash surge in the ECCU by 50%, getting rid of cash by 50%, promote greater financial sector ability, and expedite the growth and development of our member countries. It would be a game changer for the way we do business, okay? Boom. So these guys have already been planned. So you don't think it's working, it's already been planned. Speaking of someone else, so there's a smaller version of this, right, guys? I'm trying to keep this under an hour. Let's go. Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, right? So that's a smaller one. Well, is there a bigger country doing it? Yes. Passions reveal extent of China's digital currency plans. We've already talked about this. Go check out my episode, Digital Yuan. You can go to the YouTube channel, see it. I already break this whole article down. And it's basically the People's Bank of China has filed more than 80 patents related to its secretive plans to launch a digital currency. So they're already doing it. We know that they're coming out with it next week. So there's from small to big. All right, so how does this all connect to stablecoins? IBM, this is last year. Again, same time. I want you to look at that article. March 18, 2019. March 7th, 2019. Same week. IBM signed 6 banks to issue stablecoins and use Stellar's XLM as a cryptocurrency. And I'm not going to break this down, but here's some of the banks. The Philippines, Brazil, Bank of Busan, South Korea, digital versions of the euro, Indonesia and Rufa, pending regulatory approvals and other reviews. The network went live a year ago. Okay? On the world's wire at the moment was previously not the US dollar-backed token. Created by Stronghold, startup based in San Francisco. We are limited production. So, you just saw that. The Stellar, I just want to show you that. That's the whole point of this article. The Stellar XLM is backed by the US dollar. So the token is backed by the US dollar. We don't see a lot of that, okay? I And I want you to also see here, this is in 72 countries, by the way, with 48 currencies and 46 banking endpoints. So this is not a small deal. All right, this was a year ago. As IBM is taking banking clients closer to cryptocurrency, creating a stable coin on the Stellar network, okay? So you got Stellar as a stable coin, and XRP is moving all the coins. I'm just going to point that out. And here's why I think that's interesting, because I came across an article on Reddit. Could Stellar be the world's go-to globally regulated crypto? Now, I point that out here because I don't remember where that was. It's too late now. I don't remember where it was. Anyway, I'll go back to this. It's because we saw that the US dollar was mentioned as a powerful, that's a big deal. So the global the US dollar is not going to go away just to cash the US dollar, but since the IMF, that's right, the IMF has directly surged the US dollar, Stellar being that major network, also a US based company, to be that people who move the US dollar here. XRP, the R3 quarter, also moves it. So if this is America, right, and I won't go into this because they asked the question, if this is America, what's going on? Let me move this over here. I just figured out where that's going to be. What's going on else with Stellar right now, okay? And so this is right now on Coinbase. Learn Stellar, earn XLM. So now Coinbase, which we know Coinbase, the comptroller just moved, the lawyer just went over to the Treasury under Secretary Mnuchin, right? And now learning Stellar here is, this is Coinbase. You can earn $50 in Stellar right now, which I suggest you do this. I'm not backed by them. This gave me an email, and it says, what is Stellar? Earn $2. What is Stellar Lumens? Earn $2. Sending remittance with Stellar? Earn $2. How banks, businesses, and use over and over and over, and then give your friends an invite, gift to Stellar, earn $40. I'm going to do this today, and it's right now, it's worth 7 cents. I told you guys, we are already involved with Stellar, and I think that is a big deal because I believe Stellar is involved with the US dollar directly. And we know that to move all the money, the government has to sign off with XRP and the Ripple products, which we saw was connected. But so we got America's dollar, we've got all those people, but then we talked about the Chinese yuan. So what's really going to move them? And here's my thing, because distributed ledger technology is important. So that brings me to Hedera Hasgraph, which is basically Google's big dog, right? These guys are they're Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hedera Hasgraph. You see they leave off XRP here. These guys are a direct competitor to XRP and distributed ledger platform, okay? And I think it's important. So if I was just to say what if you would describe them, and that's here on Google, it says, HashGraph is distributed ledger technology developed by Lehman Baird, the co-founder of CTO of Swirls in 2016. It is an astronomist, I don't know, I can't read that. It's an algorithm that consider capable of securing platform against Wikipedia attacks, okay? Or did I say Wikipedia attacks? I meant against regular attacks. So their goal is to be a decentralized network on the DLT. Now, it doesn't say this, but we all know the Hedera Hasgraph, I think, let's see here. Let's make sure I can find, let's find the roadmap here. I think that's where I want to go. Oh, they're not going to say it. I'm just going to say it, though. I'm going to say it. These guys are part of Google. Google, there's a lot of money in Google behind these guys. IBM backs Stellar, right? Here we go. Google. And we know IBM's involved as well. Boeing, Deutsche, Diaper Worlds, Mongolia, Swiss. You know what's interesting? We don't see on here, right? No forking, initial votes. I won't dive too many in these, but the point here is Google. Google backs these guys. They're the big backing. And my point is, I believe Hedera Hasgraph is involved with China. We know Google is involved with China. We know that, right? So I think but there needs to be a competitor. So you've got, here it is, Google partnership with Hedera Hasgraph can generate. Okay, you know that DLT mixed with, Ripple is another distributed ledger technology. And now you have Hedera Hasgraph, right? So you got two competing to be all the way back to those two countries. Remember we showed you, I showed you in this PowerPoint presentation. Let me show you. Country D, country A, Ripple, Hedera Hasgraph. I'm just going to point that out to you. Ripple, Hedera Hasgraph, okay? Or XRP, that's how those things are going to move, okay? So, now, why would the banks use these? And this is the last thing, because here's what came out yesterday. And shout out to the Bearable Bull. He should be probably talking about this today. I know he tweeted it out. Thank you for that, guys. And we'll go into that. But central banks' balance sheets right here, okay? This is big. This was yesterday, and I'm not going to go through it all. But basically, the point of this chart, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see, major central banks' assets to debt ratio. The banks, guys, are getting ready to go boom. There's that total assets, okay? You're just going to scroll down, and the general base of this is they are going to explode. And that just means they're going to go down, okay? That's all that's going to show here. I'm just going to scroll, and I'm just going to tell you, this is a ticking time bomb. This is a ticking time bomb. You see how the graphs are getting a little lower. I'm not going to break this down, but this total assets versus debt, this is going to explode. European central banks, there it is. Hold on. If you are interested in this link, write in the comment, and I will get it to you. But the point is, U.S. Treasury securities, debt. It's coming. It's coming on 5/6. Look at this. Federal Reserve notes shooting up. Loans and central bank liquidity swaps. Here's the European Central Bank balance. Deposit facility versus credit. That means there's more credit going out than they have actually money to pay for. We know that. Look at this. Bank and circulation notes. Getting ready. Foreign reserves, including gold. So there's the reserves. Here we go. The Bank of Japan balance sheets. We've talked about this. These same banks are connected to the very beginning. I'm showing you those 5 major banks. People's Bank of China. Yep, I think that's what it is. Look at this. Held by China, IMF data, okay? So China is a part of the IMF. Look, we've talked about before. U.S. Treasury agencies held by central banks. Here's the Fed and foreign official counts. More. I'm just showing you guys this. I'm going to keep going. I'll let you pause whenever you choose. Total assets. Here we go. Fed, ECB, Bank of Japan, People's Bank of China. There's a 3. Total assets. Hold on. What is that? What was that? What was this? Let me go over real quick. Yep. Total assets. Just checking. Okay. Here's securities versus the euro. Uh-oh. And I think, here's Japan. The U.S. dollar versus it. Things are exploding. Things are exploding. I know I keep talking, but this is mainly for you guys to see these charts, and you can pause and look at the charts on your own. But I think this is so important to see. And that's the end of that one. So, guys, I tried to keep it my best under an hour. My meeting is at 8 minutes, so I will try to upload this soon, and I will just dig in, guys. This is the central banks. This is what's going with the stablecoins. So we got R3, Corda, combined with other people. IMF moving towards it, with the World Bank, with the BIS. And then you got Google, which is a big partner with IBM, also behind Hedera Hasgraph, moving the major China banks, also with IMF and the World Bank, also working as special drawing rights to use XRP and Ripple to connect it all, while Stellar is also the main U.S. fiat currency to move that as their digital currency. Oh, man. So, I don't know. That's so much information. Mind blown today, guys. What do you think? Let me know. Oh, man. It is blown away. And I was tweeting this stuff out yesterday, and we are getting crazy notifications about it right now. I think it just, look at this. 72 people liked it. 18 others just follow me. Thank you to guys who follow me. Liked and replied. 24 retweeted. Another 74 liked it. Another 33 people liked this tweet. How about the big box, the smart contracts? What is R3 using for smart contracts? That may be for another good investment. People want to know. People want to know. People want to know. Look at this. This is all yesterday, guys. So please make sure you follow on Twitter and hit me up at New Creation Cap. Of course, you can also follow me on, hold on. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let's go. Here we go. You can also make sure you follow me on New Creation Capital Podcast. We are right here, guys. Thank you so much. please make sure you like it. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Here, hit the little like button, hit the subscribe, join me in the Telegram group. And right now, as we look, before we go, let's see where Bitcoin is at. Is it going to load? Trying to get back to 10,000 right now, $9,939. Everything else is kind of in the green here. And all right, so before I go, I just want to tell you one of my favorite scriptures, all right? It is Matthew 6. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Focus on the kingdom and all his righteousness, and all these things that the Lord knows you need will be given to you guys. So, yes, we focus on investments and then on this channel. I know we do that all the time, but my mind, as always, is on Christ Jesus. I share that with you because you are a new creation. In Christ, you are made new, guys. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy your Friday. You know we will not be putting an episode out tomorrow, but on Sunday, we will do Sunday scriptures. And for you guys that listen just to the investment, we will see you on Monday. This is Monday through Friday, and my name is Christian Israel. And you are listening to the New Creation Capital Podcast, a place where we discuss what happens in the world today, where we talk about stories that focus on current events, the stock market, and digital assets, guys. Where we go one, we go all. Shout out to General Flynn. This is a new you, a new future, and a new creation. And I just forgot that I always say this. This is not financial advice, for educational purposes only, guys. But of course, you should listen to it anyway. Buy low, sell high. Guys, this is a new you, a new future, and a new creation. Kept it under an hour, guys. Woo! I'll see you guys on Monday morning. Until next time, guys, peace and love. Later.
Let's just follow a $100 check. Make this real simple. To the fellow that delivers our mail. The postal worker gets a $100 check. And he looks at this and he can't imagine in his wildest dreams that just 2 days ago that money didn't exist anywhere in the universe. But it's a government check now, and it's very spendable. So he takes it and deposits it into his private checking account at the local commercial bank. Now this money is out of the Federal Reserve mechanism per se, out of the government side of the partnership, and it gets into the private banking side of the partnership. $100 has been deposited. Now the action heats up. The banker looks at that and he goes over to the loan window and he opens it up and he says, "Attention everybody, we have money to loan." And that's good news for a lot of people because that's one of the reasons we go to the bank, isn't it? To borrow money. So it's good news when there's money available. And the banker says, "We have $100 deposited, but don't worry folks, we can loan you more than that. We can loan you up to $900. Well, how? How can you loan out up to $900 when you only have $100 deposited? Well, it's not difficult if you're in the Federal Reserve System. Here's how it works. The Federal Reserve says that the member banks must keep no less than 10% of their deposits in reserve. So there's $100. They keep 10% in reserve, $10. And they can loan up to $90, right? So we loan it to you, ma'am. You borrowed $90. What do you do with it? Well, you want to spend it. So you want to write a check on it. You deposit it into your checking account so you can write a check. In many cases, it might be put directly into your checking account. But now there's $90 deposit, in addition to the $100 that was deposited to start this chain. Now we've got the $90 that was loaned as another deposit. Well, the Federal Reserve says that you only have to keep 10%. So we keep 10% of the 90 and loan the other 90%. And the person that borrows that puts it right back into the bank as another deposit. Well, the Federal Reserve says you only have to keep 10%, so you know, this goes around and around and around the revolving door until finally the whole action is played out. And the bottom line is when that $100 deposit comes in from the postal worker, the banks in essence can loan up to $900 because $100 is the reserve, and that's 10% of 1,000, so they can loan the balance or the difference, which is $900. Now, where does that money come from? Well, same place. It springs into being precisely at the point where the loan is made. It didn't exist before, anywhere. Now notice the important thing here. The money that's created out of nothing and given to the government spends for its purposes. But the money that's created out of nothing by the banks is not spent by the banks, it's loaned by the banks to you and to me, and we pay interest on it. Not too shabby. Interest on nothing. I wish I had a magic checkbook like that, where I didn't have to have any money, just a checkbook. And I could write checks, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 all day long and loan them to you folks, and you pay me interest on it. You see? Not too shabby at all. This, in fact, is the payoff to the commercial banks in the cartel. This scam has become legitimized by law, and we're told it's a wonderful thing. We think our banking system is wonderful, but it's a scam.